Christ is in our midst. Welcome to Spiritual Calisthenics. Today, on February 9th, we commemorate the leave-taking of the presentation of our Lord into the temple, as well as the memory of Saint Nicephoros, the martyr of Antioch. This martyr, who was from Antioch in Syria, contested during the reign of Galenius, about the year 260 AD. Through the working of the evil one, his friendship with a certain Christian priest named Philagrios was turned to bitter hatred. Nicephoros, repenting of his enmity, tried both through intermediaries and in person to be reconciled with Philagrios, but to no avail. Later, when the persecution broke out under Valerian and Galenius, Philagrios was seized as a Christian. When Saint Nicephoros learned that Philagrios was arrested by the pagans and was enduring torments for Christ, he sent intermediaries to Philagrios, begging his forgiveness. But Philagrios would not forgive him. Later, as Philagrios was being taken to beheading, Nicephoros, hoping that Philagrios at his end in such a holy hour would at last forgive him, met him on the way, fell before him and fervently asked his forgiveness. But Philagrios forgave him not. Wherefore, though Philagrios had passed through many sufferings, and the crown of martyrdom was now awaiting him, because he disdained the chief commandments of love and forgiveness, the grace of God, which had been strengthening him in his torments, departed from him, and he told his executioners he would sacrifice. Nicephoros immediately confessed Christ before them, and being himself beheaded, took the crown that Philagrios had cast away. Should the hypothesis of the meeting of the temple fall on this day, which it does, the service of Saint Nicephoros is chanted on the 8th. Your martyr, Lord, in his courageous contest for you, received as the prize the crown of incorruption and life from you, our immortal God. For since he possessed your strength, he cast down the tyrants and wholly destroyed the demon's strengthless presumption. O Christ God, by his prayers, save our souls, since you are merciful. This should be a warning to all of us. We must forgive. We tear down the good things that we build up if we do not forgive. On this, the Thursday of the Prodigal Son, we read from St. John's first universal letter. Brethren, if we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just, and will forgive our sins, and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. If we say we have not sinned, we make him a liar, and his word is not in us. My little children, I am writing this to you so that you may not sin. But if anyone does sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous, and he is the expiation of our sins, and not for ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world. And by this we may be sure that we know him, if we keep his commandments. He says, I know him. He who says, I know him, but disobeys his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoever keeps his word, in him truly love for God is perfected. By this we may be sure that we are in him. He who says he abides in him ought to walk in the same way in which he walked. So St. John the theologian, the beloved disciple here, is telling us that Christ, our expiation for our sins, will forgive everything if we also forgive, if we walk in the same way that he walked. If we say we have no sin, then we're liars. All of us, like a stone thrown in the air, we ascend, but the second we stop ascending, we plummet like a rock. We must be aware of this, so that we can appropriately ask for forgiveness. The Gospel according to St. Mark. The Lord said to his disciples, Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But of that day or that hour no one knows, meaning the last day, the day of judgment. Not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Now, keep in mind, he's speaking hyperbole as God, co-equal with the Father. Jesus knows everything. He's outside of time. He can tell you when it's going to happen. But when he's saying not even the Son knows, this is important for two reasons. One, as we saw yesterday with St. Barsanuphius, at any given time there are holy people praying that the wrath of God be kept back. And so the day of judgment, sometimes which should have already happened, is delayed. But this is also trying to tell us, stop looking for all these signs that, oh, this is going to be it, this is going to be it, this is going to be it. Rather, we should always be prepared that the Son of God could come back in the next 5 minutes or in the next 5,000 years. We have to have the same level of preparedness for either case. It is like a man going on a journey, when he leaves home and puts his servants in charge, each with his work, and commands the doorkeeper to be on the watch. Watch, therefore, for you do not know when the master of the house will come, in the evening, or at midnight, or at cockcrow, or in the morning, lest he come suddenly and find you asleep. And what will you say? And what I say to you, I say to all, watch. It is for this reason that during the bridegroom services, during Holy Sunday evening through Holy Tuesday evening, we hear the bridegroom service, Idou o nymphios erkete, behold the bridegroom comes. Watch, keep watch. Blessed is that servant who he finds waiting. It was now 2 days before the Passover and the feast of unleavened bread, and the chief priests and the scribes were seeking how to arrest him by stealth and kill him, for they said, not during the feast, let there be a tumult of the peaceful. So you see, they are afraid. They're scared to kill Jesus out in the open, so they're trying to find a way to get rid of him because they're jealous of him. I hope that you've enjoyed today's Spiritual Calisthenics. Have a blessed and wonderful day.